Well, what's up, internet? It's Saturday. It's gonna take me a little while to actually get correct because there's just a lot of moving pieces in this, and I'm gonna take my time on it. But I'm gonna explain to you a little bit something about 3D printers. Basically, it takes this plastic filament like this. It comes on these spools, and it heats it up, moves it, and then it kind of works in a specific way. There's three axes. You have an X, a Y, and a Z. So when you look at a printer like this is the X, right? I think this is on, so either way. This is the X, this is the Y, and then this is the Z. So it'll draw it out layer by layer until it's got your part. Well, there's a couple right ways and wrong ways to do this, and if you look down here, specifically the Y-axis, the back and forth, uses these, this is what they call a linear rail, versus it's got this rod, and then right there it's got this, what they call, I believe it's called a pillow block, but inside of that is two linear bearings, and this setup's called linear rod. And the reason why I'm pointing this out is because I'll set the camera still here. So when I move the bed, you can see how it's doing this, which it moves under its own weight. And again, we come back over here to this printer bot, and it's not moving. The bed itself doesn't move, the entire machine moves. Like, this is so much more solid. So these ones are about, each printer here is about half the cost of that one. So, of course, you're gonna find cheap stuff. Again, this one's the same thing. Just a lot of play. So, this causes problems because as the bed moves, the bed will shift, and it kind of makes this like rocking noise, and it's horrendous. And it's inaccurate, and it just causes more problems than you need. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do an upgrade I can't tell if it's ever been done before. We're gonna upgrade this. So everything from here, and all these, like the rails, not this stuff, we're gonna keep all this, but all of this is gonna change. And we're gonna replace it with is, similar to the printer bot, some linear rails. So we're gonna see what we can do about fixing this, because this is crazy. Like, you could see it. I almost forgot, there's going to be a few things we have to do in order to try and maintain sort of like the same setup, and it's going to take a lot of measurements. So one of the measurements we're going to need, granted we also have another printer here that we can use to get measurements after the fact if we don't have those, but there's a few things we're going to need. Alright, this is a very crude drawing, so don't laugh at me, but the outer box represents like this portion of the printer. So you got these two pillow blocks here with the rods that go through, as well as these guys, right? And then the bed that sits on top. So the idea is this is the bed. These are the black bars, so these are just called, like, I don't know, end bars. Whatever. This is the pillow block. I don't even know if that's the right terminology. This is the rod, and then this is the base. So to think about it in 2D concept, you have the base, pillow block, there's a rod that goes through it, right? And then you have kind of the end piece that kind of goes like right here, and then the bed sits on top. What we need to do is figure out the height of the bed off the base. because we want to try and maintain that as close as possible. That's the only real challenge, is that we have to maintain some sort of sense of this, as well as retain the belt coupling piece that's on the end of these pieces. This basically is just a screw, and it has this little like tension guy that keeps them working. And that's what drives the movement. Then the other challenge is we got to keep it square and figure out how we're going to mount these like slider pieces to this base, and that's about it. So we got to mount this carriage piece to this block, that being too destructive, and be square, as well as get this to work. And we also got to come up with a new mechanism to mount our bed as opposed to these magnets, because magnets suck. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. Yeah, 35 millimeters, that's our goal. So we have to be, with all of this, the new parts over here, I don't know if you can see them, with these, plus however we make it to where it holds the new bed and these pieces, it has to be 35 millimeters. So we got just over an inch that we could fit in here. So we're gonna try and see what we can squeeze in here and make it work. But I got a few ideas, and we're gonna use the printer bot to help us build this one, and then we're gonna see just how well this works, and if it works so good, we'll have this one build the ABS parts to hold the bed. Alright, so here we are. You have the slide rails, the end caps, the pillow blocks with the IGUS polymer bearings, which these are supposed to be a good replacement, but apparently it just doesn't fix the slop. And then you got the drive belt, the screws will hold it all in. So you have these for the drive belt, these are for the back panel, and these are all to hold the pillow block, these pieces. We also got the feet over there. So with all this out, what that means is that we now have a clean slate to adapt our pieces here, these guys, onto that plate. So I'm gonna get some measurements off this, and we're gonna figure out what we have to do. Okay, so this is kind of the thought process to figure out what we have to do, but you know, this is what I'm thinking as far as redesigning the bed. There's nothing like obviously laid out here, but there's a couple pieces we're going to need to make, specifically one to span these directions, which are, you know, going to be basically the width of the bed, which are, you know, almost, I mean, it's about 10 inches, which is the max that I could print on the printer bot. But we got to print a piece that comes over this way, and the same for the front. And the way it's going to work is we're going to have like a little cap that kind of holds it in the corner here that slides this way. So it's actually going to hold the bed, and it's going to have just a little lip that holds it kind of like that. So it's holding it from coming up, going down, moving left and right, or front and back. Alright, so this is kind of what we're looking at here. And I threw the rails in here, they're loosely sitting, there's no drilled holes or anything. But you can kind of see the idea I'm going for. And you can see obviously the bearings there are definitely hitting, but that's fine because we're planning on putting this bed back at where the normal height is, which is, I want to say 35 mil is what we said. But in order to do this, we need to 3D print a piece just to check our idea before we start doing anything destructive. So I kind of designed out roughly a design. I don't know the length of this, I don't know the width of this, I don't know 100%. There's probably gonna be errors with this. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna print a 2D, you know, block that's shaped like this, no three-dimensional, you know, angles or whatever. So we're gonna give 2 mil on top, a 4 mil gap for the bed to slide into, another 2 mil gap just for support. I'm not sure if those are going to be enough, but we'll see. 16 mil for this to give us the height we need, and then it's going to be 4 mil thick, which will give us a total of 28 mil. And then we're also going to have another 4 mil at the end before we start our 25 millimeter space holes to adapt the rail. And each one of these is going to be about 3 mil in size to allow the bolt to go through. The rest of this, I don't know. So we're just going to go ahead and draw it out. The placement of this is the problem. This is the reason why I don't know the length. So that's going to take some massaging to figure out, or even some simple math. I don't know. We're just going to play with it though and print a small piece just to see what our thought process is. Okay, so after a couple hours of doing some design stuff, basically I realized that the piece, which I'm kind of absent on right now, this piece that I'm trying to build, right now it's kind of inverted the wrong way, but the idea is it's supposed to hold something like that on the edge of the bed just to get me set up on where the rail's gonna go, kind of like here-ish, right? And just kind of trying to figure this piece out. But the problem is right now I can't keep the rails still. So I actually need to mount the rails here first. So what I did is I printed up a little template. So it's got the 6 holes that are normally in the pillow block, and then the 4 holes that go into the rails. And I had to drill these out a little bit to make it all perfect. But the idea here is, and I use these to just space the screws, but this just kind of sits in here, sort of like that. And then we'll drill the holes through this, and that should give me perfect alignment to drill the holes. And then I'll do the same on this side as well. But this carriage is in the way, and it's about 5 o'clock on Saturday, and I have some things I'm going to do tonight, kind of getting out of the house. So I'm gonna go get ready for all of that, and I'll pick this back up on Sunday, later in the day. Okay, so it's now Sunday night. We were working on this template piece, and this template piece allows us to drill the 4 holes for the rails, yada yada yada. So we need to get that done, but before we can get that done, we gotta move. Once we put that in position, you'll notice this is in the way. We can't drill here, so we need to move all this up, but you can't really manually do that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna plug in the printer and try and get it to raise it as high as we can so we can get this little drill in there. So let's go ahead and do that and try and mount these rails. So we have power here, USB there. It's backwards right now, but we were running Octoprint on a Raspberry Pi. I couldn't tell you what version it is, but one of the things is when this was at its former location, the IP address was on a 100 dot whatever subnet, and that's not the same here. So I need to figure out how to get in here and change that. So I'm gonna grab my laptop and we're gonna make a little spot here for it and go through that. Okay, so here we are. We're manually connected to the Robo by just direct connecting the Ethernet into the computer, change the computer's IP and subnet, but not the router, to the same range. So we picked a 100.2. This is 100.71. So we're direct connected here, and as you can see, we have Octoprint control. It's connected. Everything's happy. So we're just gonna go to control. We're gonna hit that Z up a couple times until we can get the. You can't go too high, otherwise you'll walk it off the end of the lead screw, and that's bad. But don't mind those noises. That's just spare filament that's still in the extruder block. That should do me plenty good on the hole. We'll go one more. That's it. That's all we need. That's all we can do. So it gives me the most room, and that'll allow me to drill the holes here. So now we're good. the last thing to do is just make this work on the 100 dot, or sorry, the 1 dot whatever network as opposed to 100 dot whatever network. So, gonna go ahead and switch that, and then we'll get to drilling. Okay, so Octoprin's all configured, but for now, we need to disconnect all the connections to it to make sure we don't catch a wire and send ourselves across the room. So I gotta remember which drill bit it was. I want to say it was this guy, which is yeah, it looks like it's about an 1/8 inch drill bit, and that kind of just goes into these holes right here, but that's not the piece. It's over here. Yeah, and it just snugly fits in there. So we're gonna flip this over and take a look and make sure there's nothing like in this vicinity wires wise, and make sure we don't send it straight into something that matters. So let's go ahead and do that. And you can see the 6 holes kind of, if I'm moving around. So this side's pretty good. Over here it gets a little bit more concerning, but I think as long as I don't go, you know, plunging through the depths and all the way down, I think we'll be just fine. So we're just gonna have to be a little careful on the pop through, but I don't think we're gonna have any issues. So let's go ahead and just do it. These M3 screws, the threaded part, is about the entire thickness of the plastic. So we're gonna have to get some M3 screws, some longer ones. Well, that wasn't as dramatic as I was hoping, but I'll take it. Okay, so we got a wide variety here. We got some 16 mils. Got I think 4 packs of those, so it's 12. We got some 10s, more 10s. We got 4 packs of those just in case, because I was out. And then we got 4 packs of 8s. So we got a little bit of a hodgepodge. That's great because that will allow us to hopefully finish this up. Okay, so we only have 3 screws in this thing already, in this block. There's a total of 4, but I'm going to show the difference just in the rigidity already. So when you pull this all the way out, there's a little bump stop at the end of this to prevent the rail from sliding all the way out. But if I even so much pull on this, just a little, the entire printer is rocking. It's not, there's no play, and it slides smoothly, right? Come over here, do the same thing, pull all the way out, right? Just kind of, the bed moves, right? We're gonna go ahead and do the other side now, but this is looking awesome. You can see there's 4 there and 4 there as opposed to the 6. What we're left with is 2 linear rails that should be equidistant apart at all stages. Stripes are around here. This is about 236. Put that right there. And yes, 236. Measure here. 236. Now we're going to push these through. This will tell us just how accurate we were with our mounting and thought process. It is so freaking close. actually, I keep it a little bit there. About 236. Once I get this tightened down and get all the braces for this, then I'll be able to crank these down tighter, and it'll be true. But we're within a 0.5 millimeter right now, at worst, right? You know, with all of this. Next is just building the rest of the bed pieces, so that'll probably be the next episode. I think I'm gonna end this one here, that way I have something out early this week. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, tell me what your experiences are. Do you have a 3D printer? What do you use it for? I don't know, I do a lot of 3D printing. I've played with a lot of 3D printers, mainly 3, you know, but I'm deep into it and I want to get deeper into this. But if you have one, you know, or if you like this video, like the video, if you have one, tell me what you got. Tell me your experiences with it. You know, good, bad, did you have issues, whatever. Start, you know, let's build a thing below. And second of all, do you like what I'm doing? You know, whatever. But if you like it, I'm kind of an engineer-minded person, mostly work on my car, but car parts are expensive, and these printers were kind of gifted to me. So I'm going to keep tweaking them and doing my thing. And if you want to see more of that, go ahead and hit subscribe. Click the little bell notification, whatever. I'm relatively new of a channel, but we already have 84 subscribers. The last video we had 81. You guys are awesome. Keep clicking that subscribe button. You guys are wicked. And then if you want to see some, you know, cool stuff before the video comes out, as it happens real time, check out the Instagram at PGHPUNKID. All the links in the description below, including where to find these rails and the screws that I use. So until next time, see you later. Peace.
I'm a true champion.